Meridian.
Mm.
The episode that I bawled through the end of. We've talked about
No,
it a
and
little bit.
obviously, look, the episode got a lot. It was a lightning rod of
Yeah.
fan attention. Um, but look, I've read things that Michael said about it, and that time on the show was had a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I I don't know. I stand by the episode, and yeah, it was a way of killing him without killing him, because I and the rest of the team were hopeful that this wasn't the end, and you never want to say never and all that stuff. And I mean, Brad already had the idea of bringing it back. Like, he was already in his mind crafting the episode where he was going to use Michael the next season. That was kind of part of
Abyss.
the deal.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, again, Michael died so many times to come back. I think it would have been, it would have been kind of a weak effort if we had tried to convince people that he was actually dead.
Daniel was arguably the heart and soul of the show in so many respects. I mean, you could say that for all of the characters. I personally connect to Daniel a lot. And this episode is about him taking stock of his life and what he has become. How much of that was him, and how much of that was you looking at your life and the challenges that you've faced and what you have overcome?
I don't know that I consciously put my own experiences into it so much as it was the kind of culmination of what I felt was the ascension story of, humans trying to understand themselves and better themselves at the same time, and maybe along the way achieve enlightenment. And to me, of any character on the show, Daniel was the one who was searching for that.
Yeah.
He had experienced tragedy, and in a way, didn't have much to lose in that way. In other words, the things that he was gaining, or that he believed he was gaining, were far greater than anything that he was still tethered to.
Yeah.
And I feel like, this is what he was searching for. Like, in a way, he was everything he ever kind of translated or did for civilizations along the way as his part of his adventures was in a bid to better our experience as human beings and reach some form of enlightenment. So I just felt it was, very natural and organic, and I honestly don't remember, but I don't think I had fully at that point formulated, how he might return if he decided to. Like, I didn't have full circle really in my head at that point, but it just felt, it felt like the best sort of send off I could imagine for Daniel.
It's delicious. It's such an amazing thing to watch, especially with him opposite Mel. He's trying to figure out.
Big fan of 30 something. I mean,
who suggested Mel? Were you?
Yeah, it was me. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty sure it was. I gave it. What happens usually is I give a description of the character to our casting people, and it's possible our casting person came back and said, "What about Mel Harris?" And if I'm not mistaken, I believe one of her kids,
Byron, was a fan of the show. They watched it every week.
Yeah. And so
she loved the role.
Yeah, she had sort of maybe communicated that she would be interested if it ever came along. So our casting person probably mentioned it, and I mean, it was a slam dunk for me.
Absolutely, yeah. She and her son had visited the set previously.
You're right. They're right, and now I remember that. And in fact, now that you say that, I'm totally forgetting. I did have her that in mind when I wrote that part. I said, we'll get Mel Harris to come and do this.
And it's every time I reach out to her to talk about it, she's always happy to. You created a character that's like, oh yeah, and the scenes between her and Michael, I love the exchange. He's like, okay, what do I have to do? And she says, release your burden. And he says, my burden, consider it released. And she's like, you don't get it. You don't get what this is going to take. And the next 15 minutes of him is just him unwinding who he is, and right to the end where it's like, we now understand that he's, even if Selmek can bring him back in some kind of way, you know, he may not even be fully healed. He's ready emotionally for whatever is going to come next.
Right.
Solid performance.
Yeah. Sorry, Mel Harris. I forgot that you had visited previously.
So you said that Brad had already been toying with Abyss in his mind. As you're ending season 5, has Sci-Fi already agreed to pick you up?
I'm pretty sure that was already in the works. It was not a question of finishing. Like, there's so much work that goes in to post in terms of the lag time between when we air, and so your question is more about when did we finish shooting versus when did the show air.
Fair.
So I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure that deal was already in the works before we finished airing on Showtime.
Understood. Well, lucky us. I'm going to save.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, thanks to a guy named Tom Vitale, who was the one who came after that deal.
Wow. Was he a fan of the show?
Yeah, huge fan of the show.
I will absolutely give him a tip of the hat for sure.
Talk to him and have him on the show.
I'm looking at this right now. Absolutely. Valerie Bertinelli's husband. All right. No, that's the financial planner, though. Maybe there's more than...
that's a different Tom Vitale.
Sorry, Tom. How many Tom Vitales are out there?
Tom's not a great guy, but he is. But no, he's a producer.
Got it. Understood. My God. Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.